Okay guys, so this is part 2 of 8.5, solve using LCD, least common denominator. So here, what do I mean by least common denominator? We're going to look at our denominators that we have here, x minus 5 and x, and we're going to multiply them to create a new denominator. Okay, so when I multiply x minus 5 times x, and I'm going to change this whole format, I'm basically doing x times x minus 5 times, in parentheses, 1 minus 8 over x minus 5, close it, equal to, and I'm going to do the same thing over here on this side. X times x minus 5 times 3 over x. The purpose of doing this is to get rid of these fractions here and create just simple either linear or quadratic equations, however way it turns out to be. So when I multiply this into everything inside here, or distribute, x times x minus 5 times 1 is just going to be x times x minus 5. X times x minus 5 times negative 8 over x minus 5 leaves me just 8 times x, because the x minus 5 here will cancel out the x minus 5 when I distribute into here. Okay? Then on the other side, I'm going to distribute the x times x minus 5 times 3. Well, what's going to happen is that I'm going to only be left with 3 times x minus 5, because the x will divide out with this x over here. Okay? So again, one more time. X times x minus 5 times 1 is this. X times x minus 5 times 8 will give me just 8x, because the x minus 5 will cancel the x minus 5 over here. So now if you look at this, this no longer has any fractions anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and continue distributing here and distribute over here. This will give me x squared minus 5x minus 8x equal to 3x minus 15. Now I have a bunch of x terms here. Go ahead, I'm going to combine like terms here. So x squared minus 13x, I'm going to minus 3x over here, so minus the 3x over here. And I'm going to go ahead and add this 15 to this side. So this is minus, I'll add it over here. And this is going to give me equal to 0. I have one more combined like terms over here. So this will be x squared minus 16x plus 15 equal to 0. Alright, so how do I solve this? Again, this is factoring, okay? Remember, there's a 1 in front of that x squared. So 15 times that 1 will give me 15. And then I have to find out what is going to be my two terms that multiply to give me 15, but add together to give me negative 16. Well, it turns out it's going to be x minus 1 times x minus 15. All that equal to 0. Okay? Oh, sorry, I didn't have that. It should be a 0 right over there. So I'm going to erase part of this right here so you can see what I do next. So from the earlier statement, x minus 1 times x minus 15 equal to 0, I set each one equal to 0. Whoops. And then I solve for x. So x equals 1 and x equals 15. Now this is only part of my solution. What I mean by that is this is the big part of it, but I have to go back and check. That means I got to go back and plug in x equal to 1 to prove if my statement is correct, and go back again one more time and put in x equal to 15 and do the whole step all over again to see if my statement is true. Okay, so again, just kind of going back, I know people don't like factoring that much. Factoring this apart, the factors of 15 are going to be negative 1 and negative 15. So when I multiply these two together, I get positive 15. But when I multiply negative 1 times x and I add it to the multiplication of negative 15 times x, I get negative 16x. Okay? Hope that helps you out, guys.